Hello everyone, this is the second part of tutorial dedicated to creating of animals. And let's start. This video will continue and fix an issue where our animal is spawned below the landscape. So let's open animal parent. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a line trace from the bottom of our capsule component to a landscape. So and we're gonna do it on construction script. So let's create a new function in BP animal parent and call it fix position. And we're gonna make a line trace by channel. And start is gonna be 0, 0, 0 minus a radius of a sphere. So that instead of not radius, but half height of a sphere. So instead of tracing from here, we're gonna trace from a bottom of a sphere. So what do we need? We need to um, get a capsule component, get half get half size, get capsule half height, and subtract it from and just multiply it by -1, and it is gonna be our z value. So let's split start, and it goes into z. Next, about end location. It's gonna be the same, but z must be, for example, oh, I'm very sorry. Line trace is made in world location. So start location is gonna be an center of a capsule component. So we're gonna get capsule component, get world location, break it, and x will go to x, y will go to y, but z will be changed. So z minus capsule half height, like this. And let's make vector here. X go to x, y goes to y, and z goes here, and it goes to start. And about end, we're gonna use the same vector, but for example, we're gonna subtract, um, for example, 10,000 by that value, and it goes to end. And trace channel is some channel that landscape is blocking. In my case, it's building channel. I will use it. So now we're gonna check if we had a hit. And if not, then we're gonna do one more line trace. If false, we're gonna do one more line trace, but instead of subtracting that, we will make a line trace upward. Because, for example, if our capsule is a little bit below landscape, then minus 10,000, then line trace to bottom will not hit anything. So in this case, let's add 10,000 here, and it goes into end. But start remains, this stays the same. Okay. Next, let's promote out hit to some local variable and call it hit result. And we're setting here and here. So now, after all of that, after a line trace, I'm gonna put it into a sequence, and I will make a line trace on 0 pin of a sequence, and on the first pin of a sequence, I'm gonna get hit result, split it, and I'm gonna change the nectar location. So what it gonna be with this hit result distance, we can define the distance from a bottom of a capsule to our landscape. And we should change our position of a capsule by this value, but distance is always positive value, so we will use hit result location in this case. So hit result location, we're gonna set actor location, but now we're gonna add half of capsule size to this location. So we're gonna add, let's split this, connect it to a new location, and we're gonna add capsule component capsule half height to that value. Okay, I should not multiply it by -1 here also, I just mentioned it like this. We're subtracting it, so multiplying by -1 is not needed. So that's it. And the fixed position should be called on construction script. And let's test it out. I didn't change any allocations of these vectors. So let's start and wait 10 seconds. Okay, here it is. Here is first though that is spawned and it aligned to a landscape perfectly. A little bit his uh, front legs are located wrongly, but it doesn't matter because it will be invisible because of grass. So as you can see, every deer spawned correctly. Also, what I think that I should not call this function recursively because in some cases it may freeze. So here I'm gonna just select a random array item from here. Okay, oops. Now we should add some animations to these animals. So first I will create here a new folder and call it deers, and move these two blueprints here. And here I'm going to create a new folder called animations. So this pack provide me with some animations like this. We have this animation like just eating, breathing, chewing. Okay, we have idle animations, we have run animation, we have walk animation, and that's fine. Let's go back and create some animation blueprint here. So animation blueprint. Select a skeleton. I will firstly create it for doe. So create, call it ABP doe. You save it all to prevent crash and open it up. So now it contains nothing, and I'm going to create a new state machine here and call it locomotion and connect it to output pose. So here in state machines, we're gonna have few states. First one is gonna be an idle state, and we're gonna have movement state. Okay, to idle state we have few idle animations, and I want a random animation to be picked up randomly from this sequence. So I'm gonna add a random sequence player and connect it here. Here we can provide an array of animations to play. So let's select. First one is gonna be idle breeze, not like this. Okay, and here we have a chance to play. It is normalized, but I will use values from 0 to 1. So chance to play for dear doe, I don't know, is gonna be 0, 7. And here we can change loop count of this animation. So I think 3 loops count is fine for this animation. And blend in, I'm gonna set it to cubic and make it 0.3. Okay, next one is gonna be chewing animation. It's almost the same as idle breath. I don't think that it will be visible for a player, by the way. So I will add it like 0, 0, 3, and it will also have 3 loops max. And change blend time and blend mode to cubic. Next, we have such animation when he's eating. So eating animation is gonna have a chance of 0, 0, 3, and it will have a minimal loop count of 3 and max loops count to 5. And the same for a blend time. And the last one is idle look around when he is looking around. Okay, and this animation will have max loop count 1 because it is not looped correctly, and the chance to play is gonna be 0, 1. And the blend time is gonna be 0, 3, and also it is gonna be cubic. Okay, so now we have to set this animation blueprint to our BP dough. So let's select skeletal mesh in blueprint dough actor and select a BP dough. And now we're gonna play some animations when it will be spawned. So we're gonna do almost the same, but for not almost exactly the same, but for stack. But I will do it later. I think that I will not increase the length of a video. It's just a duplication of what we've done here, but with another names of animations and another skeleton. Next, we need to make a walk run animation. So to do that, let's create a blend space, but we need to create a blend space 1D. Select skeleton. It's gonna be a dough skeleton. We call it blend space, walk, run. Also save everything because I'm frequently crashing during editing blank spaces. Next, we gonna um, name our horizontal axis. It's gonna be a speed, and minimum speed is gonna be 0, but maximum speed is gonna be some dou speed. So, by the way, I want a dou to be able to run away from a player. So my maximum speed is gonna be greater than a player's running speed, but not for but by default it's speed of walking. So we need to I will add walk run animations now. So I'm gonna add walk animation here somewhere, and I will make it snap to grid and make and add run animation somewhere here, and it will blend through them, and some idle, for example, idle breathe on 0. That's it. We have a blank space walk run, but our DAO is not able to move, and of course it's not able yet to change its movement states from walking to running. I wanted DAO to be able to walk when it doesn't detect any danger like player or other animals. So by default it's gonna walk, but when it will see or hear player, it gonna run away. So our animals, or not even animal, I think that every AI will have some actor component. And let's create an actor component and call it AI movement component. Here we're gonna create an enumeration called AI movement state, and we're gonna have some configuration called as AI movement state config. So let's open enumeration, and it will have fused two states, walk and run. Now let's open the structure AI movement config, and it will have some state speed map, and it is gonna be a map of maximum speed for every movement state. So it's gonna be EAI movement component to map, and here it is gonna be a float. And now let's close it. Let's open AI movement component now, and it will have a variable called config of type as AI movement state config, and it will also have a config by itself. Oh, not a config, just movement state by itself. Movement state. EAI movement state. That by default is gonna be walk. So now let's make a config. It should not be instance editable, I think. Okay, now let's get an owner of this component. And let's cast to character, just a base character. Here it is, and promote it to variable character. And let's create a function update. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna get movement state, get config, and set character max movement speed depending on current movement state. So let's break config here. We have a map. So we're gonna, I already forgot how this function called, find maximum speed for current state and connect movement state here, and it will return us some maximum movement speed. So next we're gonna get character and set max walk max speed. No, get character movement component, get movement component. Why is this one? Okay, max speed get character movement. Oh, here it is finally. We're getting a character movement component and calling set max walk speed and connect it here. And this is going to be max walk speed. That's all for update function. And on begin play, let's call this function update. So now back to an animals. We're gonna open animal parent blueprint and add this component AI movement component. So next, let's open a DAO, select this component, and here we have a config. And we have state speed map. So let's add two states. Cannot add a new key to the map while. Okay, let's select run and add one more, walk. So here we're gonna select some speeds for walk state and for run state. And here we have a default state. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open my character movement component and check what speeds for my character. So I have running max speed as 600 and walking 220. So it will walk a little bit slower than a character, maybe 200, and it's gonna run on 600. It's gonna run on 750. I'm not sure if it is too big or too low for an animation, but now on blend space walk run we can set max value of speed to 750, and this is our run animation. It's gonna be on 750 and walk is gonna be on 200. So it's gonna be on 200 speed. That's it. So now let's open animation blueprint and go to movement. So for movement animation, we're gonna use this blend space walk run, but we need to provide it with our speeds that we've created here. We need to provide it with some value. So to do that, we're gonna open an event graph. From the left side panel on event graph, we have event blueprint update animation. Let's create a function called update info. Just update base info. And in update base info, we're gonna try get our owner. It return us. Okay, we're gonna cast it to character, promote it to. I'm not sure. We should cast to BP animal parent and promote it to variable called animal. Here it is. Next, also let's make it on sequence because in future it will grow a little bit and we will keep everything organized. So first we are getting an owner And next we're gonna get this animal and get, can we get just speed? No. Let's get a character movement and get speed or velocity. I don't get velocity, I think. Get velocity. Yeah, we're gonna get velocity vector. And to count a speed, we're gonna check this velocity vector length. So length, length by xy. We don't need that value. And this is gonna be our speed. And let's promote it to a variable, call it speed. And like this. Connect it like this. And now back to animation graph, state machine, movement animation, and speed is gonna be this one. Next, here we should provide a condition when we're gonna navigate from idle to movement state. So we're gonna navigate there only when speed is greater than 0. And also we should be able to navigate back to idle from movement. So like this, open it up, and if speed is equal to 0, like this. So now we will have an animation of walking deer and walking doll. And also what I want to do, I'm not sure. Okay, let's continue. I've crashed a little. So what I've already described to you what is the problem, that I don't want to create every time some functions like here, like update base info for any animation blueprint. Now it is only deer and stag, but I will have much more animals in future, and I don't want to just copy paste them. And in future, if I will decide to make some changes, I will have to make these changes in every animation blueprint, and it will take a lot of time. Here is where inheritance principle comes to us, and inheritance in animation blueprints works through template animation blueprints. So right click on animation blueprint for doll and create a template animation blueprint. Call it, I will call it ABP animal. Also, I will save it into main animals folder and save it there. So what is ABP animal animation blueprint looks like? It's the same animation blueprint but without assigned skeleton. It has that function, it has the same event graph. Also, this function should be called on update animation event. Don't forget to connect this. And now on DAO remains the same. And now we can select this ABP animal and create child and in blueprint with skeleton. And select a stack. Also, I've already tested it a little bit, and I will describe you some issues with this. So let's call it ABP stack. Move it into right folder, animations, and open it up. Here is how it looks like. It calls parent blueprint update animation. Parent means it will call ABP animal, this one, blueprint update animation, which one it will call update base info. And I don't need this. And as we can see, we don't have an anim graph here. That's because we have an anim graph in ABP animal. Here it is. And here we can just override some animations. So right here we have an asset override editor, and we can select which animations we want to override. For example, I can override blend space player, blend space walk run. But unfortunately, we cannot override this random sequence player. I don't know why Apex didn't allow us to override it or even make this array as a pin to make it a variable, but we have what we have. So every animation like blank space, we will change it into walk, run, blank space for a stack when we will create it. But now let's change this idle animation. To do that, let's create a new enumeration. We had an animal type. Now let's create a new enumeration called animal subtype. And it will have such subtypes like deer, it, or a stag, and etc. etc. Like deer, stag, for example, male fox, female fox. I don't know if they have, oh, not a deer though, if they have separate names. And every animal parent will have a variable also. Uh, let's create a variable and call it animal sub animal subtype, right? Okay, and it's gonna be type of animal subtype. So now let's open our bp.do here, open class defaults, and here we can change animal subtype to DAO for DAO, and we should do the same for a stack. Not DAO, just stack. Here it is. Now back to ABP animal. And what we're gonna do here, we gonna blend by animal subtype. Blend poses by animal subtype here. Let's right click on this and add DAO and stack. So this random sequence player is for DAO and it goes into DAO pose. We will have to create a new one and plug it into a stack pose. That's we have to do that because random sequence player cannot be overridden. So for a stack, I will just duplicate this and plug it into stack, and we'll select uh, another animations just for deer stack. Okay, which animations we'll have? We have idle breeze with the same chances, idle chew with the same chances, and idle graze with the same chances, and idle look around with the same chances. Now let's open the stack, and it does nothing. That's because we didn't provide an enum value through which we're gonna blend. So let's get an animal and get its subtype, compile, save, move it somewhere here, and it doesn't work. Okay, why it doesn't work? We default pose was visible but ignored, so maybe if I will connect this to a default, nothing will happen again. DAO, do we have something to override? No. So that's very strange behavior. Blend poses by animal subtype, random sequence player, animal subtype. Okay, if I will, for example, plug breeze here, okay, loop it for now. Nothing still happens. Are we in idle? Yes, we're in an idle state. Also, we'll plug it here. Compile, save. Okay, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. For a stag, it does nothing. No animation is playing. And that's very strange. Hmm. Oh, yes, of course. It doesn't work because we don't have an animal subtype. We have animal subtype, but we don't have an animal. We don't have an animal parameter here. So let's do it like this. Let's create a new variable and call it animal subtype sub, not type, but subtype, and it is gonna be animal subtype. Okay, I don't know what it's gonna change. I didn't use this variable, but let's wait a little bit. And let's plug it here. Delete this. And by default, let's select an animal subtype as where is its default value? Okay, as a stack, and open a stack. Now he is playing stack animations from this random sequence player that we've selected. Okay, also on update base info, let's comment this. Setting speed, move it here, and like this. Setting character, and here we're gonna set an animal subtype from get where we're gonna get an animal, get subtype, and set it here. And this is gonna be a third pin of a sequence. Animal subtype. Okay, now let's create blank space walk run, the same, but for a stack. I'm gonna just I will not duplicate it. I'm not sure if I will be able to change the skeleton right from there. So let's create a new blank space, select skeleton for stack, call it bs, walk, run, stack. And this one is going to be bs walk run. No. Let's save all and open walk run stack. I don't remember what 750. 750. So let's set use grid, and max value is 750, and snap to a grid and call it speed, and how much 30 grid divisions. Okay, let's say the breathe on 0, walk on 200 here, and run on 750. Great. And the only thing we need to do is open ABP stack, and on asset override editor, select a new blank space, walk run stack, like this. Okay, it doesn't play an animation because by default, an ABP animal, we have an animal subtype, set it to DAO, but here it will be set, I don't know to what value, because it tries to get an animal. So now if I will add, now we should apply these animation blueprints to our actors. So let's open BPDAO, select a mesh, and it is applied automatically, or I've applied it. Okay, open a stack, and here on anim class, select stack, ABP stack. Now let's add, okay, we have added them here. Now let's run, and where are they? They are doing something, but okay, random sequence should be changed a little bit. It should chew much more longer, and blend time should be increased significantly because it is very sharp. So we'll go to ABP animal, locomotion, idle, and on random sequence. Idle breeze is gonna be from, for example, 5 to 10 loops, and blend in is gonna be 0.7. For idle chew, it's gonna be 0.7. Also, it's gonna be from 3 to 8. Idle gaze is gonna be from 10 to 15. And blend time is gonna be also 0.7. And look around also gonna be 0.7. And I should do the same for a stag. Unfortunately, I have to change these values if I need to change them everywhere. Idle gaze is gonna be from 3, from 5 to 10, 0.7, from 5 to 10, and from 5 to 10 and 0.7. Oops, no, everything is fine. Okay, now they have some idle animations. Also, I have to change chances to change chances of these animations to play. I think, yeah, now they're chewing, and one stack has been spawned like this in this idle animation, and one stack has been spawned here. That's not good. We're gonna fix this a little bit later. Now we have to make them walk. They should not stay on one place, they should navigate through forest and move somewhere, eat somewhere, and etc. etc. But we're gonna do this in the next video. And now what I'm gonna do is I've made an ABP stack as a child of a template. So I have to do the same for ABP DAO. So I will delete this animation blueprint. Hope I will not crash. Open ABP animal, create child anim blueprint class, select DAO, and call it ABP DAO, and move it into this folder. Open it up, and also override a blend space for, okay, blend space is overridden by default. That's great. Just correct this. And next I'm gonna open an actor and check if an animation blueprint is set here. No, it is not, so DAO. Okay, AB DAO. I forgot to enter a P. So here it is. Here is how it looks like. We've created a base animation blueprints with idle animation, and the main thing that we've created is that we made this blueprint inheritable. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.